Hello, I'm Rythian, and this is Meat Boy. Wait, what? No. This is my questions and answer video. But the game in the background is Super Meat Boy, which is an incredible game, actually. Really fun action platformer puzzle game. Super hard, but awesome. I bought it kind of on a whim at some point, I think for like €4 or something, super cheap. Because I don't really like games like this at all, generally. I hate games that are really hard and you keep dying, you have to restart over. But this game just does everything right, so I really recommend it. I played about 50 hours of this, so I'm pretty good. But I'm also extremely rusty. So if you see me fuck up a lot, well, forgive me. I'm just gonna go play through the normal mode for as long as I have questions for these answers, pretty much. Okay, so let's jump right into the questions. Problem Solver 6969XX Sephiroth Goku asks, how do you determine which questions to answer when you can't answer them all? I pick the good ones. Or I pick the ones with awesome names like yours. Seems good enough? Yeah. Laurie asks, what's your advice to someone who's looking to start playing games like HON or Dota 2? Particularly if said person doesn't know how these games work. Honestly, don't. I mean, the games can be really fun, but they can also be the worst possible gaming experience you can ever have. Like, the communities are horrible. The worst communities on the internet, pretty much. And the games are extremely punishing. And people will shout and rage at you for not being good. That said, if you have really thick skin, much thicker than you think you need, and you're really good at it, and you really do enjoy winning a really hard fought battle with the help of your teammates and stuff, give him a shot. I personally love Heroes of Newerth, and it's an absolutely fantastic game. And if I didn't love Heroes of Newerth so much, I'd probably love Dota 2. And League of Legends is pretty fun too. Trina asks me, what pets do you have? And if you don't have one, would you like one? What kind? I don't know really. The thing about pets is that it's such a large part of your life when you have one. It's a lot of stuff you need to do and take care of, and if you ever need to go on a holiday, you need to find someone to take care of them. If you ever need to visit someone and you can't bring your dogs, again, you need to find someone to take care of them. Holidays becomes an issue, everything. But that said, I like cats. I think cats are pretty nice, and dogs are just amazing at giving you love. Like unconditional love, and just so happy to see you. And corgis are like some of the cutest creatures on Earth. So, either a cat, which is a bit easier to take care of, but also doesn't really care about you as much, or a corgi, because they are so cute and so fun. Critical Creation asks, what's your favorite film? That's hard to say. I don't really have one favorite. There's a lot of films I do like. The Prestige is amazing. Memento. The newest Batman movies, specifically Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. The Avengers, really good. Cabin in the Woods is a fantastic movie that I recommend absolutely every one of you to see. I'd probably say Cabin in the Woods is my most recent favorite movie. I don't know if I'd say all time, but it's pretty damn good. Peppermint Bonbon asks, would you still say Sips is your favorite Yogscast member after meeting almost everyone in real life, or did someone else usurp him? I can't pick a favorite one. Like, you can't really pick a favorite one out of all your friends. I said Sips at the time because he was one of those people I hadn't talked to a lot recently because he'd been so busy, and that I kind of missed it. But they're all really awesome people, and a lot of them are really cool. Sips is extremely funny. Shit is pretty cool. Duncan is awesome, albeit very confused. He's generally a confused guy, but very happy. Lewis and Simon are super friendly. Hannah is extremely sweet. Zoe is fantastically awesome. Basically, they're all cool. So, can't really pick a favorite, I guess. Tanya asks, what was the first video game you played and what did you think about it? The first real video game I played was Prince of Persia, the very first one. And I absolutely loved it. It was just amazing to me how good a video game actually could be. You know, open up the entire world for me of what stuff you could just enjoy. There's a couple of other games I played during the time, most of them platformers, but that one in particular was, you know, defining game in my childhood. Schmanable asks if there was any specific person that got you into gaming. I suppose my dad. My dad was working with computers, and he ended up taking home first a PCG and later on a 286 and then a 386 from work, and installed games on it. So if it hadn't been for that, I probably would have played games much later. That also means, you know, PC games was my very first love, and that's probably why I still mostly play PC games to this day. Is there a piece of trivia? Oh, Vulsura asks if there's a piece of trivia that I might like to share about the Tekkit series, either behind the scenes or a background thing a catch reviewer might not have caught. Actually, this is a really good question because it's a pretty good answer. T, the dinosaur, was originally not really supposed to be in the show much at all. T didn't really feel like he had the time or, you know, had any decent ideas or whatever to do. So when we were recording one night, we had been talking about just having him running around in the background, kind of just doing a little bit random things and be like a, you know, a little Easter egg for people to see, and like, oh, did you see that guy? It was a weird guy in the background next to where I could see a nameplate, etc., etc. So he was running around and we were recording, and he was shooting arrows kind of randomly, and then suddenly, 1 in a million shots, he hit and killed Zoe in one go. And we were like, what the hell just happened? And then we decided to just roll with it. So we were going, oh, someone killed you, and surprisingly very little panic. We just were like, what the hell was that? And then kind of played off it a bit. So then when we finished recording for the night, T just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And we're like, actually, this could be pretty good. So we ended up bringing him in anyway, and I'm really happy we did because, well, T's cool. Everyone loves T the dinosaur. Shamanimal asks, how did you hear about Minecraft? I heard it on this Ventrilla actually. One of these guys, or a few of these guys, kept talking about it. About some indie game they played. It was an alpha at the time. I don't know exactly which one. I suspect it was Duncan, but maybe not. I know for a fact Simon probably played it first out of all of us, but he didn't. That was like his getaway time game. The one he didn't do videos on, the one he didn't talk about much. He was just, you know, on his own, single player, building his fun stuff, surviving, fighting creepers, etc. Imagine that, you know. Minecraft for Simon was the chillax game, the one he didn't do videos on. What if they never actually did the Minecraft video in the first place? And this entire thing would be very different, believe me. Grace asks, how are you in school? Sports, grades, friends? I had a good time in school, pretty much. I had a lot of friends. Social-wise, I was kind of in that little mixed place where I could hang out with pretty much anyone. Like, I had a couple of nerd friends. I hung out with the cool kids. Played sports with the sporty kids. Hung out a lot with the girls, actually. I was a pretty close friend to a lot of the girls. They're cool people, despite being girls. Nah, just kidding. But they were cool. So yeah, school was good. Don't really have any major complaints. Grace also asks, what job did you want as a child? When I was a kid, I wanted to either be a pilot or a stuntman. And stuntman eventually morphed into like action movie star. Later on, I realized pilot's probably not that fun. 'Cause, you know, commercial airline pilot is really boring. And I also realized I can't actually be a pilot. You need perfect vision to be a pilot pretty much, and I'm colorblind, so that wouldn't work. Also, stuntman, I realized is actually pretty dangerous for not a lot of credit. And, you know, becoming an action movie star, I guess that's still sort of on the table, but I've gone much more behind the camera than in front of it. And only real acting I do is, I suppose, voice acting, sort of, but not really. I'm not really very good at voices, so all I really do is voice myself in Tekkit, so I don't think that really counts. Icarus Knight asks, if you had to, which country would you move to and why? And I'd probably pick the UK, England specifically. Obviously because a lot of my friends live there. And not only that, because it seems like a good global country. Central, fairly, you know, sort of important, it's not really hidden away or anything. Pretty good, you know, social and economical status. It's like a pretty decent country. That said, I absolutely love Sweden. I think Sweden is a fantastic country to live in, and I really don't want to leave. I would mostly pretty much be moving just to be with my friends or, you know, work at the office in Bristol or something. Icarus also asks if, as a fellow reader of books, if I have read any Dune or any Raymond E. Feist. Yes, I have read all of the Dune series, at least the books written by Frank Herbert. I'm staying away from the other ones because apparently they are pretty shit. And I've read some Raymond E. Feist books actually. I think I honestly got stuck somewhere in Magician. Not because it necessarily was bad, but because some other books caught my interest at the time. Solana Cosmia Huena asks, do you listen to music when you're trying to come up with new creative things? If so, what music, and could you recommend a band or album? Yes, actually. I do a lot of my thinking while listening to music. Just thinking up random cool ideas. A lot of times I'm just out walking or whatever, and I have music in the headphones, and just let my mind wander and get ideas and, you know, figure things out. It would be mostly trance type stuff you've seen me linked on Twitter, probably. I generally just get all the artists and stuff from Trance Around the World with Above and Beyond, or Group Therapy as it's called now, or the Armin van Buuren A State of Trance podcast. Basically, they do the actual picking for me, although there's a couple of trance artists that are really good. Juno Beach, Above and Beyond themselves, Ferry Corsten, Marcus Scholes, a lot of them really good, but generally I don't really stick to artists when it comes to trance. I just have some other people pick out the ones for me. Other than that, I think Pendulum is I'm a massive fan of Pendulum, one of my favorite bands. Osni asks, what's your favorite and least favorite aliens to fight in XCOM? Favorite would probably be the Sectoid commanders. The ones that mind control and stuff, basically do mind attacks. And yeah, don't worry, I know there's another mob coming later on, but I don't want to spoil people who haven't seen it yet. They also do similar type of things. I find they do pretty interesting things to the game style. Having to deal with one of your own soldiers suddenly assaulting you or whatever. You know, deal with disabling shots and try to avoid and maybe kill the commander before your own dude kills himself. It's fun. Worst is the chrysalids. God, I hate those fast zombie creating assholes. It's the worst thing. You scout out into a place and suddenly, oh, you know, here's fucking 5 chrysalids, lol, and they run right up to you and they just, you know, hit for ridiculous amounts of damage and then zombify you, and yeah, it's horrific. There are ways to deal with them though. I need to get shit and plating, which will reduce melee damage a lot, which makes them not much of a threat anymore. I'm so sorry, but it's an interesting name, asks me if I have any particular New Year's resolutions. No, just the same one I always have, which is become a better person. Make the world a better place. This year I intend to, you know, be better than I was last year, and make people happier than they were last year. Pretty much. Haley sorry. Do you think in the future you will style your hair like your Minecraft skin's hair? Probably, honestly. At this point it's kind of become a thing. I have to do it at some point. I don't really have any particular aversions to dyeing my hair or anything. I think it'd just kind of be like a fun, cool thing. So, yeah, at some point. And yeah, when I do, I might be persuaded to give you guys a picture. But who knows when. Christmas and Christmas asks, what was my favorite subject in elementary school? And why? PE. I don't think that's most people's answer, actually. I don't know. I loved, physical education when I was a kid. It was just, 1 or 2 days a week going into school, and we actually got to run around and play football or basketball or, floorball. The running bit was kind of boring, but it was fine. And just did a bunch of cool stuff. It was basically just almost another recess in school. It's fun times. Preppy Geek asks, if you could make all of one kind of thing go away, what would it be? Wasps. Because fuck wasps. Maggie asks if I watch Doctor Who. No, I don't. But I'm going to. I've got a lot of people recommending it to me. So the plan is to start at the Christopher Eccleston series and move from there. Pep asks if I have an aversion to technology IRL. No, of course not. I'm using a computer. I use advanced computer programs on my computer with my headphones and my iPad and iPhone every day. The magic thing is just, because magic is cool. Pretty much. Also, it makes for a cool story. Justin Lee asks if I have any sunglasses like my avatar in real life. Yes, I do. A pair that looks almost exactly the same, actually. I only wear them during summer, though. I'm not one of those douches that wear them inside. Scott Damon asks, are there any games like Dishonored that you might play? Or are there any games like Dishonored at all? And yes, there definitely are. You should check out Deus Ex Human Revolution, Thief 1, 2, 3. Mostly 3, I guess. The first 2 are kind of old at this point, but they're very good. System Shock 2, much older, but very, very good. Bioshock games, although they are more action-based than Dishonored. But yeah, just look for quote-unquote immersive sims. Luke Clinton asks, is it true that you are dating Teep? That's what Sip said. Oh yeah. Everyone knows Sips tells the truth in his videos. All the time. Totally. No, I'm not dating Teep. He's a cool dude, but neither him or I swing that way. So, no. Alex asks if I can juggle. I actually can, a little bit. 3 balls, nothing fancy, just throwing 3 balls a bit. Although it has been a while. One of my juggling balls got eaten or ripped apart by a dog, and I haven't bought new ones yet. That was actually... that must have been like 2-3 years ago. So, yeah, I haven't juggled in a while. Tammy asks, on average, how much do you game outside of your recordings? A fair bit. A lot, I'd say. It depends on the day, really. But I'd say on average a couple of hours. Linnea Johansson asks, do you even lift? Dude. Or, not dude, obviously you're a girl, but... Of course I lift. God, who doesn't? Henrik Liljenberg asks, in your videos, you generally choose to play games that are pretty dark in nature. What are your thoughts about games with a more colorful tone, such as the LucasArts adventure games? It would be awesome to see you play more games like that. Anything you consider for the future? Oh yeah, actually, I've been considering lots of, happier, more colorful games. Because there's really no particular reason I keep picking dark games. I don't know, I guess I like them. And I feel like they fit my style a fair bit. A little bit more serious and dark and twisted, very story-based. But sure, I have no objections whatsoever to more happier, more colorful game. I like playing them. I have a few ideas actually of future games, and some of them are pretty happy and colorful. Heidi asks, does it become difficult to deal with the story and that audio's presence at once? Minecraft is only so immersive. Does talking for an audience help you get in character or hamper it? Very good and very interesting question actually, because of just the way the Tech It series kind of evolved. I mean, if you notice the first 5 episodes I did, the prequel on my own, it was pretty much just me playing sort of Minecraft a little bit like that and explaining what I was doing and so on. It wasn't a lot of story. But when I did create it, I did decide that I wanted to have a sort of motivation. It wasn't just gonna be, hey, you know, here's me messing around with Minecraft, yay. So I did, you know, the whole Duncan and Shin destroy the whole world. I'm sort of looking to rebuild and get vengeance. Because I felt like it made for something I could talk about. Still though, I don't really think my series really came into its own until a couple of episodes in with Zoe, when we started making a bit more of a narrative role to it. And I think that worked. And at that point, it becomes a bit weird to use a lot of in-game terms. Like if you were making videos like Sips and Shin or Duncan's, they very much acknowledge, oh, we're playing a game, we're doing a thing, check this mod out, we're trying for a game, and the other videos they said this and did that. I can't really do that if I want to try to maintain a narrative. So when we do crossovers, it gets even weirder. Like in one episode, Shin is in my show, and we're talking about, you know, fighting and death and kidnapping. And the other one, he's on his show, is going, haha, you already saw, you know, Rythian show off this skyscraper that we built in his video, lol, and so on. It gets weird, actually. I think it works though, on the whole. You can kind of pick and choose what kind of a Minecraft video you want to have. In one way, having Zoe made it easier because that meant I didn't necessarily have to start the episode going, hello viewers, let me tell you about Minecraft or anything. I could just go, okay, Zoe, what are we gonna do today? Of course, in the beginning of Season 2, I still had to tweak that a bit. James asks, do you actually have any real conflicts with the rest of the Yogscast, or is it all for the series? No, I love the Yogscast guys. Every one of them are awesome. Me and Shin, good friends. Me and Duncan, really good friends. You know, this is just for the series. It's the difference between characters and persons, you know? Jacob asks, what's my favorite fantasy RPG class / race and why? I like paladins a lot, actually. I generally have 2 archetypes I tend to stick with. One is the noble plated warrior. Either some sort of fighter cleric or usually a paladin. And for a paladin I like to, if there's like any sort of options, to be an angelic race. Like Plain Touched or Azimar or whatever they're called in D&D. I usually stick those. I like being like an angelic holy warrior type of thing. It's cool. Either that, or I'd like to go with a human sorcerer. Like a person with generally just having either some sort of natural power or like a lot of hard work, managed to unlock the arcane magic thing in their blood or whatever. Basically magicians, sorcerers. And also more sorcerers than wizards. Because I like the more natural will-based magic than, you know, spells and rituals. Like chanting and using bat guano with a eye of newt. It's not as cool as, you know, focusing their will, unleashing a word and then saying their spell. Charles asks if I'm planning to see The Hobbit, and if it's going to be released at the same time in Europe as the US. I think they're released more or less at the same time, maybe plus minus a day or something. I know a lot of the Yogscast is actually going to see The Hobbit not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. They have like a sneak preview type of thing. I'll be going shortly as well, probably. Going with my dad, probably. Might go with a couple of friends as well. Depends on scheduling stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely going to see it. Big fan of Lord of the Rings movies. And this looks amazing. Huge fan of Martin Freeman as well, so it's going to be cool. Olivia Dover Spikes asks, Eleanor versus Alice. Who would win? Good question. Now, I think it depends on the arena of choice. Because if you were in Alice's Dreamland in Wonderland, I think she'd take Eleanor. Even though she might not have as many like awesome offensive powers, she pretty much forms the world around her. And I think that would basically give her the upper edge. The upper hand, so to speak. Eleanor would definitely win in Rapture. Especially once she's in the Big Sister suit. And she can teleport around and shoot things and all the Adam and Eve that she has. Yeah. So it would depend on where they fight. Home ground advantage will basically be the winner. And for the final question, which is from Lenny. How was your stay at the Yog Towers? Who was the person you were most excited to meet? It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. The weekend at Bristol was probably the best weekend in my life. Or at least like at the last 10 plus years. It was absolutely incredible meeting these people that I've known online for so long. And they're all so cool. It was super fun. Even then, it was also really fun meeting new people that I sort of only a little bit knew. Like meeting Martin, Sparkles, Parvis. They were all really cool people, and I had awesome time discussing with them. I know you guys are, mostly know about the main Yogscast people, but there are a bunch of people in the extended family, so to speak, that aren't really involved with Yogscast, but are like our friends. And they were really cool to meet as well. Lou, Danny, Neil, Maid. It was pretty cool meeting them all. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and, Monday morning and noon. I just spent with a bunch of really awesome people. Some of them left earlier, some of them left later. I think I was the last one to leave. But it was fantastic. Had an amazing time. We talked a lot. We drank a bit. And we generally chilled. We did some stuff in the office. I did one bit of recording you might see soonish. We played Resistance, which is a card game, board game type of thing. We had lunch. We watched Dexter together in the same room instead of on Ventrilo for once. We even watched approximately 7 minutes of My Little Pony before we couldn't take it anymore and turn it off. My Little Pony, by the way, some people ask about that. It's such a big thing in the internet now, which is really weird. And my opinion on it is basically it seems like a good show. Like I would gladly want, my niece or nephew or little cousin or whatever to watch it. I can't really see the appeal for, older men. The whole brony phenomenon, I don't get it really. But hey, as long as if you don't hurt anyone, you can live your life the way you want to. And some bronies are perfectly normal. Some people are really creepy though. Like scarily creepy. I don't know. I don't think there was any particular person I was the most excited to meet. I generally thought it was going to be awesome to meet all of them. But the happiest surprises was meeting Sparkles and Parvis. Because I didn't know them all that well. I played a couple of games with of Dota and stuff with Parvis, and I had maybe exchanged 2 or 3 emails with Sparkles, about the top 5 videos they do. And that was about it. And I ended up enjoying talking to them and hanging out with them a lot when I was there. But then of course it was just amazing to meet people I've been talking to for so long and just doing it in real life. Just having completely insane conversations with Sips. Discussing, our work with Shin. discussing editing and so on. Just chillaxing with Duncan and discussing random things while he was drunk. There's a reason we called him Drunken, by the way. Playing games and watching TV shows with Hannah. Hugging Lewis and Simon. It was amazing. And of course, you know, not to forget Zoe. It was super cool to meet Zoe. She's a really awesome person. She was a little bit shy, but at the very beginning at least, but it was cool. We hugged. It was a good time. And that's about it. So I'm gonna leave you right now. I made it all the way to hell, Super Meat Boy. It's a great game, by the way. You seriously get it. Anyway. Goodbye. See you guys around. And have a good day.